Hello viewers, we want to do applications of quadratic equation, how to calculate for the maximum area, or rather getting the dimensions of a given shape. Of course, the first question is trying to explain something pertaining the area. The second one involves a system of money. Let's try to go to the first question. For you to come up with a proper solution, you need to start by drawing the same shape that you've been given in the question, which is a rectangle. So I'll start by writing solutions. So in our solutions, we need to have a rectangle. This same rectangle, the dimensions here, the length and the length, I'll call this one to be x, that one to be x, this one will be y, that one will be y. So if they're saying it has been enclosed by 600 meters, meaning that the perimeter of itself is equal to 600. So remember, perimeter is the total sum of the dimensions that you have. So in this case, we are going to add x plus x. It will give us 2x plus this and that. You get 2y. Remember, we are saying total sum has to be equal to 600. If you happen to divide it throughout by 2, you end up having plus y equal to 300. Allow me to take this to be the first equation because it comes from the part of perimeter itself. If you go to area itself, how do you get the area of a given rectangle? So for the part of area, area is equal to length multiplied by breadth. So area in short is equal to, what is our length? In this case, our length is x. And what is our breadth? I'll take that to be our breadth, which is the height. If this is the expression for area, that is for perimeter, how are you going to come up with one expression from here to that given part? I think we can make y the subject, then we'll substitute the entire thing in the second equation, which is there. If you make y the subject from the first equation, you have 300 minus x. So I have to substitute this on the part of y in that equation, so that our area can just be the same as x, open bracket, 300 minus x, meaning that our area in this case will be 300 x minus x squared. Do you still remember how you get the turning point of a given quadratic equation? Of course, this is going to be a quadratic equation because we have a part which is having x squared, we have a part which is having x variable, then the constant in this case is the same as 0. So area in simple terms can be written as x squared plus 300 x. Of course, the constant is 0. So how are you going to end up having the dimensions that these people want? Of course, you are supposed to know the exact formula which we are using to get the maximum point, or rather the same dimension. In this case, both from the first equation or the first question and the second question, if you want to get the dimensions, or rather the amount, for here we are going to be dealing with amount, you have to use x equal to negative b over 2a. That is the only formula you'll be using to get the dimensions. If you understand the concept of calculus, you can also use the calculus there to differentiate, then equate the differentiation to 0 and find the value of x. All right, so from here, I think this is our b. Our a in this case is -1. Our c is that. But since we are dealing with negative b and a only, then we'll just have -1 and b. Of course, that will give us our dimensions. So here on top you have -300 Down there you have 2 multiplied by 1, and this of course will give us something like negative 300 over negative 2, meaning that the dimension x is going to be equal to 150. Of course that will be in centimeters. Sorry, this has to be in meters because that number is also in meters. So they are also asking us the largest field that can be enclosed. In this case, they're talking about what area is it going to enclose. So for us to get the area, you get the dimension which is here, and you plug it in the same formula for area that you have there, meaning that the maximum, or rather a largest area, it has to be negative, open bracket, 150, you square it, plus 300, 150 again here. So area is to be equal to, if you happen to square that, 150, then I'll say plus, let's do this, 150 multiplied by 50, there 0, 0, 0, 0 here, 0, 25, carry 2, 7, 0, 0, and you have 1, 5, 0. So here you have negative something like 2, 2, 5, 0, plus again here if you try to multiply, you have 1500 multiplied by 3, which is going to give us 45,000. So if you try to perform mathematics there, you end up having your maximum area. That's how we solve the first question. The other video is going to explain the second question, which is depending on the money. Thank you very much for watching. Try to subscribe to our channel and also like and share.